Guys, right?
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to First Parish in Milton. My name is Brigitte, and I am the worship associate for Dee Dee, Natalie, and Cynthia, the lay leaders of today's service. The theme of today's service is to help us learn about the UA animal ministry. A special welcome to Carl, providing us with some lovely music for the service. To anyone here for the first time, a very warm welcome. As we say here at First Parish, however your journey, whatever your heritage, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. There should be information in your pew about First Parish, kind of like a little white pamphlet in the front where the hymnals are. And after the service, I or any of us here would be glad to answer any questions you have about being a UU. Please raise your hand if you're having trouble hearing us. And for those of you on Zoom, raise your hand virtually or message us in the chat function to let us know if you're having trouble. And if you haven't already done so, please put your cell phones on silence. There's a sheet in the narthex as you come into the church there with the next few summer services. Please make sure that you have a copy of that if you don't already have it in your email. And I wanted also to announce that the next standout calling for democracy will be on August 11th at 6 p.m. The location is to be announced at a later date, so please keep an eye on your email. Are there any other announcements from anyone in the church? No? Okay, good. Our lay-led summer services are a little different from the minister-led services during the rest of the year. They're an hour earlier, they're often shorter, and sometimes quite different from our typical services. The lay leader is often sharing something that they care a lot about and or sharing themselves quite personally. So this is a way in which we get to know each other in a different and possibly deeper way than we might otherwise. In this way, we can grow together as a community. We'll now do the light chalice lighting. Oh, you're right. Okay, sorry, yes. So we'll do the opening hymn, which is hymn number 175 in your gray hymnal.
Give you guys time to find it. Try that again. Do we have it, 175? Okay, I'm a little deaf, so. We celebrate now. Got that.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm sorry if you could hear me sing. No one wants to hear me sing. Uh, This morning's invocation comes from a passage attributed to Kate Forster. I think it's a deep consolation to know that spiders dream, that monkeys tease predators, that dolphins have accents, that lions can be scared silly by a single mongoose, that otters hold hands, and ants bury their dead. That there isn't their life and our life, nor your life and my life. That it's just one teetering and endless thread, and all of us are entangled within it as deep as entanglement goes.
We light our chalice this morning to these words adapted from those by Susan Carlson. Welcome to all this morning. We enter into this half circle of diversity, celebrating the ways that we, walking, rolling, strolling, two-legged wanderers, share with the four-leggeds, lounging, lunging, and leaping among us, with winged warblers and slithering, sliding, snaky beings, with circling cavorters in the watery world, and with those who carry their house on their backs. We look so different, moving according to the way we were made. Yet look at us here in the circle. We are part of one family, sharing one planet. May our celebration bring us to a deeper relationship, remembering that we all have common needs for safety, for care, and for respect.
The call for worship all together. So I'll jump into the next. Sorry.
Good morning. For those who don't know us, this is Natalie Monroe, Dee Dee Emmons, and I'm Cynthia Guys. In the beginning of the summer, the worship committee encouraged us to do a summer service and get out of our comfort zones. So here we are. Today's topic is, what is the UU Animal Ministry? We will be exploring, at times, some sensitive or uncomfortable issues, mostly related to how. Sorry, it's not that loud. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. Today our topic is, what is the UU Animal Ministry? We will be exploring at times some sensitive or uncomfortable issues, mostly related to how animals are treated in this country. We are not trying to make people feel guilty about the choices they make in terms of food they eat, but we want to encourage you to be more mindful and aware. We will be giving concrete suggestions and recipes that will enhance your well-being and those of the animals in our world. At the end, we'll have a fun, rabble-rousing sing-along that you will be humming all day. Cliff said that he sang this at camp as a camp counselor. The UU Animal Ministry was formed in 1986 in New York City by 4 animal advocates. The organization's now current mission is to empower individuals, chapters, and congregations to build justice and compassion for animals. There are now over 40 active chapters of the UUAM. The UU's seventh principle is, I wonder if anyone knows offhand, is to respect the interdependent web of existence of which we are part. The UUAM believes that humans are just one part of the web of life. They do not believe the assumption that only one animal, the human, is of interest to God and possesses the only inherent worth or matters most in the moral scheme of things. So, what about all the other animals? We humans decide which animals are more important than the other, which are to be cuddled, pet, or pampered, which are to be hunted for recreation, which are factory farmed so they can barely move in crates, which are to be experimented on, which will be raised or trapped for fur coats, which will be exploited for entertainment, whether in circuses, rodeos, dogfighting, or racing. We give more respect to animals we consider intelligent, such as dolphins, apes, dogs. Are you aware that research shows that pigs are the fifth most intelligent animal in the world? They can problem solve, demonstrate emotional intelligence, experience a wide range of emotions, and empathize with other beings. Pigs have the intelligence of a 3-year-old human, while dogs have the intelligence of a 2-year-old human. I call for you to think on that the next time you are offered bacon for breakfast. Female dairy cows are artificially impregnated to produce milk for human consumption. Contrary to popular belief, cows do not exist in a constant state of lactation. Like all other mammals, cows only produce milk in order to feed their babies. Makes sense. Baby cows are taken away from their mothers soon after birth so humans can use the milk for our butter, cheese, yogurt, and ice cream. Male calves are turned into veal after spending months chained in crates to ensure that they do not develop muscles that will interfere with the tenderness of their flesh. Female calves face the same fate of their mothers and will exist in a cycle of birthing calves and producing milk until their bodies have had enough, and humans render them into hamburger. Natalie sent me a story of a cow who, after having multiple babies taken away from her in the past, she hid one of her twins in an attempt to keep at least one of her babies safe with her. Unfortunately, she was unsuccessful. And that's hard for me to read, to say, and I think probably for you to hear. But we think it's important that you know some of these facts that we don't even think about. Many UUs and humanists in our past have advocated for vegetarianism and animal rights. They include Charles Darwin, Albert Schweitzer, Clara Barton, Henry David Thoreau, and Bronson Alcott. Natalie, Dee Dee, and I are not vegans, but we are on a journey towards eating more plant-based. We are thinking of the animals who have died so we can be fed and wonder if their life is worth our meal. Dee Dee has written numerous books on vegetarian cooking and had a restaurant at Passim's called Veggie Planet for 5 years. Natalie started cooking vegan recipes because her son was allergic to eggs and milk. She is working towards being fully plant-based because it's more ethical, healthier, and allows her to share her meals with her son. I haven't eaten pigs or cows in decades, or as a friend said, I don't eat mammals. But why do I think it's okay to eat fish and birds? Is the ideology behind what makes me less empathetic to a chicken than a cow not the same ideology that normalizes eating a lamb, but gawks at eating a dog? It's a good question I continue to struggle with, and I acknowledge that it is rooted in speciesism and choosing to make my life easier. I am a work in progress, like many of us are. My daughter Callie, who many of you knew as a child, and my vegan friends say that veganism and finding plant-based options are far more accessible than they used to be. If you are looking to cut back on your meat consumption, but are looking to approach it in phases and small steps, we would encourage you to look at Meatless Mondays, or choosing to decrease the consumption of baby animals like lamb and veal. Or you can incorporate dairy alternatives into your diet. There is a wide array of vegan milks, yogurt, and ice creams available in your grocery store. The three of us agree that we are on a journey towards conscious eating for our own health, for the well-being of our animal kin in the interdependent web, and for the continued existence of health for the planet. Dee Dee will now talk about alternatives to eating meat or eating meat that is sourced more humanely. She will also provide some vegan recipes. If you are interested in making some changes, Natalie will talk of next steps you can do as an individual, as a family, or as a church congregant. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Being close to the chalice like we are, it's amazing how much power it has. Being far away, you don't really get it. Anyway, so yeah, before I forget to tell you, in the parish hall, we set up some food that's vegan. We have Natalie's vegan coffee cake, and we have some vegan cookies, and I made some aja blanco, which is Spanish gazpacho that's made normally of grapes and almonds, but instead it's a green gazpacho today. I made it with kale and cantaloupe and almonds, which is traditional, so there's that to taste, as well as some really nice iced tea from Eva's garden and my garden. So I wanted to just tell you a little bit of the background, how I became mostly vegetarian. I started a cafe in a dive bar in the South End called the Deluxe, and that was like 34 years ago, and it's still open, by the way. It's on Clarendon and Chandler, and it's a really fun place. But back then it was very busy, and opened the cafe, and a lot of the menu had salsas and chutneys, and I would get the fruit and the veggies at this wholesale place down the street. A Greek man owned it, and it was, seconds from the Chelsea market, and so a lot of the stuff was bruised and cheap, and he shouted all the time, and he kind of angry guy, not really to diverge, but anyway, I thought he was going to have a heart attack one day, and he ends up retiring to the Greek islands, and he was totally fine, which is great. But the salsas and the chutneys got some notice. They became part of the menu, became a popular part, and anyway, the cafe part was very popular, so my boyfriend's brother sold cookbooks for a living, Jessica's Biscuit. I don't know if you remember that catalog. Anyway, he got in touch with a publisher in Boston and said, Dee Dee's a really good cook. She wants to write a cookbook. And so they said, well, a vegetarian cookbook is what we want to publish, so is she interested in that? And I came up with the idea of a global vegetarian cookbook celebrating all these ethnic cuisines that were around Boston, like ethnic restaurants. So I embarked on that, and I went to a vegetarian conference to make myself aware of what was going on in the vegetarian world, because I wasn't really 100% vegetarian. And anyway, I was sorely beyond disappointed by what was really going on, in factory farming and videos and all these people talking, and it was just awful. And I became a vegetarian for 20 years after that, and then and I opened Vegetarian Planet. That was in Harvard Square. It was open for 6 years, and then now, because of health reasons, I eat seafood, and cheese is over $25 a pound. So I wanted to talk about food and cooking. Eating vegetarian can be delicious, all right? So I think one of the best things to know is what I do is I buy vegetables that are on sale and that look really good. The fruit center in Milton is awesome, and it's not more expensive than Star Market or Whole Foods in terms of produce. Maybe one or two things, but farmers markets. Okay, so I'm going to talk about them in a minute, but that's the other place to go. So if you're going to incorporate more vegetarian items into your diet, you might want to worry about protein, because, especially if you're going to eat vegetarian like 4 nights in a row, or you are a vegetarian. And this is something that I've had to be concerned about nutritionally, and also as we get older, having more protein is really important. So 60 grams for women, 80 to 100 for men. So where can you find that protein if you're going to eat vegetarian? Legumes, I'll start with that. Legumes are incredibly healthy, so much healthier than meat or seafood. Meat and seafood have tons of protein, and that's great. But legumes they're packed with antioxidants, they support muscle health, they have a low glycemic index, they support heart health, they contain lots of vitamins and minerals. Also, the vegetables that are high in protein, you might want to think about spinach, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms, kale, corn, asparagus. Also, grains, quinoa is high in protein, amazingly high in protein. It has 9 grams for just a cup of cooked quinoa. And millet, which I love to cook millet, and add a little bit of olive oil or butter to the millet when it's done, and it's delicious. And brown rice. Okay, so I have 2 suggestions. The one suggestion is, is that you cook a bunch of quinoa, like 4 cups of dried quinoa, and so you have like 8 cups in the fridge for the whole week. And then also you cut up all these vegetables that you like, not leafy greens, but everything else, and you toss them in a big bowl, and you add olive oil and chopped garlic and salt and pepper, and you really incorporate that into the vegetables. You throw them onto sheet pans, single layer, and then you roast them until they're caramelized on the bottom. You throw that in a big container and have that in the fridge. And then you're kind of set for your vegetarian meals. Of course you can cook, I look at Dan, you can cook chickpea pasta or some kind of pasta instead of grains, or, you can use brown rice or whatever, millet. Anyway, put that on your dinner plate, maybe add a little tofu. I prefer tempeh, it's higher in protein, it's more delicious. Sear it in olive oil, and you're done. And then use your favorite sauce. Like, you might have some pesto, or you might have some hot sauce that you love. I have one that's laced with truffle oil that I love. You might want to add some kimchi. And anyway, there's lots of sauces. There's Indian curry sauces that are great too. So that's one suggestion. The other suggestion is that you have something to sprinkle on food. So I use hemp seed, pumpkin seeds, crushed peanuts or peanuts and maybe other kinds of nuts. And I sprinkle that on my granola. I sprinkle it on my salads during lunch. I sprinkle it on my, my dinner, whether it's the quinoa roasted veggies or a Thai curry, because those have a lot of protein. So 2 to 3 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds, I think, has like 10 grams of protein. They all are, hemp is really high. And it's really good, and you can use it as a cheese substitute. So instead of Parmesan on your pasta or on your risotto or on your salad, you can use these nuts and seeds. They're delicious. So that's it for my, my rant about, what you can do to make your food higher in protein and delicious and not meat. Also, there's protein powders. I don't really use those, but pea protein, soy protein in smoothies is a great way to get protein. Sourcing. The Roslindale Farmers Market is a great place if you want to get pastured meat, eggs, dairy. The Milton Farmers Market is a great place to go for seafood. It has Captain Martin's, I think, on Thursdays. Saturday, Roslindale Market is Saturday mornings. And the farmer's market at Milton is like 1:30 to 6 on Thursday afternoons. I have handouts in the parish hall, and I think that's it. Yeah, so I'll hand it over to Natalie.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Can everyone hear me? Okay, so I want to share a few other ways that we can embrace the values of the UU Animal Ministry. First and foremost, I encourage you to visit the UU Animal Ministry's website. It offers thoughtful, informative guidance on how to live more compassionately towards animals. It also has resources like a support group for those grieving the loss of a pet, and there's a monthly newsletter that Dee Dee, Cynthia, and I have signed up for. It has plant-based recipes, tips, and articles about animal justice. We can also reflect the values of the UU Animal Ministry here in our church community. Many of us serve on church committees, and I encourage you to think about your committee's work and how it might reflect or incorporate more care towards animals. Dee Dee, for example, is on the hospitality committee, and she's going to explore setting a goal of having a certain percentage of vegan options at every social hour and church event. Cynthia and I are on the Social and Environmental Justice Committee. We're actually having our retreat later today, and we're going to look into animal-related social justice work that we can do as part of our committee. Other possibilities might include taking some of our children to an animal sanctuary or an animal rescue, or inviting a guest speaker to come and talk about animal ethics and ways to protect animals. And in our personal lives, there's so much that we can do. We can choose products made with sustainable materials, and we can support companies that minimize harm to wildlife and their habitats. Also consider using cruelty-free products, such as shampoos and cosmetics that haven't been tested on animals. I'm sure most of you know that many beauty products are tested on animals' eyes to make sure that they don't burn our eyes. Whose eyes are more worth it, I would posit, I would ask. We can speak up when we see neglect or abuse. That might mean reporting abuse, supporting stronger laws, or simply having a conversation that raises awareness. We can support animal rescues and sanctuaries by volunteering or donating. And if you're thinking about bringing a pet into your family, consider adopting. Some of you, sorry, I'm trying not to cry. Some of you have met our dog, Lola. She was the mother dog, meaning she was the breeder dog at a puppy mill in Alabama. Before we got her, she'd spent most of her life in a cage that was meant for a dog half her size. She was grossly underweight, and she'd given birth to countless litters. And for those of you who know her, she's just a gentle soul. So she is a demonstration of forgiveness, healing, and how pets can just bring love into our lives. We can also, for those of us who aren't ready to bring a pet into our family, we can create welcoming spaces for the wildlife that lives outside our doors. We can plant a butterfly garden, install a bat house, use native plants, or avoid pesticides. And one option doesn't require us to do anything. We can simply let bugs live. Many of us are afraid of bugs, or we don't want them in our homes, but they're all God's creatures, and really, by and large, they're harmless. We're afraid of them, they're tiny, they're harmless, and they play a really vital role in our ecosystem. In fact, spiders control the insect population. So we can live our values by letting them live. None of us will do all of this that we talked about today, and really perfection is not the point. But if each of us chooses one next step, we widen our circle of concern, and we live more fully into our UU commitment to the interdependent web. Thank you.
Sorry.
In the words of Rumi, a 13th century poet and mystic, silence is the language of God. It speaks to the soul. So we invite you now to embrace this opportunity to take a deep breath and sit in silence. Be still and know. Be still and look. Let the eyes of the mind be closed, that you may hear what you otherwise would not hear, that you may know what otherwise you would not know.
This is a prayer for animal friends by Kim Crawford Harvey. Great Spirit of life, we pray today for our animal friends, grateful for their companionship and devotion. May we be worthy of their love. We pray also for pets who are gone from us, who brightened our days and comforted us by night. We pray for animals unknown to us who are suffering, for many that are hunted or deserted or tortured. We ask for them pity and mercy. And for those who handle them, we ask for a heart of compassion, gentle hands, and kind words. Help us to be true friends to the animals and love them and keep them and bless them all the days of our lives. Amen.
Today's offering is dedicated to the services and ministry of First Parish in Milton. To give, simply text 617-539-7576 or there might be instructions for you on the board here or on Zoom. Okay. I forgot to mention, there's also plates in the back of the church and as well in the in the hall here on our way out to the social hour, if some of you want to give a check or cash. May these gifts be transformed into strength for this faith community, into comfort, food, and shelter for those in need, and may we be transformed by generosity. We'll now have a closing hymn. The hymn is number 163 in your...
No, we're doing something else first.
Oh.
You're rushing us, come on.
Well, no, I was thinking, I thought there was more music, but it's not in here, so it's all right.
We're going to do, the guys want to do this Bill Spain song, great Bill Spain song, and I'm looking at Charlie in the audience over there. I think Charlie knows this. Charlie, you know Bill Stain's All God's Critters? Yeah, sort of. Okay. Well, we need your stellar vocals to belt it out here, so, everyone has it. What I'll do is, it's kind of a sing-along, and I'll do the chorus a couple of times. And then the verses, there's a bunch of verses, and if you can sing along with that, that's great. All God's creatures got a place in the dark. All God's creatures got a place in the dark. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, pause, or anything they got. One more time. All God's creatures got a place in the sky. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, pause, or anything they got. You got it? Yeah? You guys are awesome, okay. I can't hear anything because I'm up here with the mic.
Carl, I think there's a little pause before you start the fourth verse. So
There's a little what?
we take a little pause.
Is it, now speaking, look at, there's a bird flying above us now.
Oh, my God.
I think it's sending us a message. God, we're gonna have to get him out of here, but
Wow.
I think, boy, that's sending a message. All right, so,
Remember the animals.
No, I saw it. It flew up into the choir. That's right, perfect.
all right, we'll sing, we'll just sing right through the song, and, all right? Charlie, I need to hear your vocals. Charlie, wanna come up? No, okay, come on up.
We need the baritone.
Charlie, you can't get out of it. Here we go. All God's creatures got a place in the sky. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, pause, or anything they got. Listen to the bass, that's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog grows and the hippopotamus moans and groans, makes a big to-do. The old say. Porcupine talks to himself or again. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got. Now, last verse. It's a simple song of living songs everywhere. By the fox and the ox and the grizzly bear, the grumpy alligator and the hawk above, the sly raccoon and the turtle, the orange last night. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got. All right. Thank you, Charlie.
Nice job.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Carl. Today's benediction is taken from a passage attributed to St. Francis of Assisi. Respect the earth and her creatures, for they are alive like you. Live simply. Be of service. Be guided by your faith and not your fear. Go lightly on your path. Walk in a sacred manner. Amen.
The closing hymn, most people know it. It's For the Earth Forever Turn, or The Earth Forever Turning, and it's, was it 163? Most folks know that one. I'm gonna kind of do a little folky version here. So if you can sing along, that's great. Charlie, if I knew you knew it, I'd have you up here, but I'm gonna leave you alone. For the earth forever turning, for the skies forever recede, for our lives, for all we cherish, sing me a joyful song. For the mountains, hills, and pastures, in their silent majesty, for the stars, for all the heavens, sing me a joyful song. For the sun, the rain, the thunder, for the seasons harmonies, for our lives, for all creation, sing me a joyful praise to For the world, we raise our voices, for the hope that gives us birth. For our joy, we sing, returning to the green hills.
Thank you all for coming, and please join us. We're in the in the parish hall, and you'll be happy with the food, believe me.
There are books in the parish hall for you to peruse on, animal cruelty and food politics. And also there's my cookbooks, Wild Flavors and Vegetarian Planet, and they're for sale for $15 if you want to get one, but you probably already have them.